this time of service, God, that your will and your way will be done. Father, Lord, all the things of the outside are left there. God, we ask right now that your worship will be lifted up in here tonight. God, Lord, that through these testimonies of these youth, God, Lord, that we can see that the Lord is still working and our youth are still on fire. God, I ask right now that you'll just have your way right now in this hospital. Miss Bonnie, God, touch her. Lord, in her body, meet all that need. Father, have your will and your way in all that we do here tonight, Lord, and we'll give you the praise for it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Check. Okay. You are a girl, Skeeter. Come get the microphone.
See, this is the kind of chaos I like to see amongst the youth. Who's going to sing the microphone?
My name's Autumn.
That's all we're going to do.
Good evening. I guess since I'm the only one up here, we'll talk. Okay. So, it has been a great week this past week going to SuperWOW. It was our very first week to the Toccoa location. Normally, we go to Fort Walton. The very first year we went to Jekyll Island. And y'all, this past week has been absolutely amazing. I'm going to talk for a minute. Kids, if y'all will go to the back and get prepared to do something. Do we have everybody? Oh, you bunch of losers. Oh. Gotcha. So I'm going to just talk a little bit about SuperWOW. Just in case you don't know, SuperWOW is a church camp. It's, like I said, we went to the Toccoa location. Literally, it is going sun up to sundown, past sundown, almost to the next sun up again, all in one little day. It's amazing. But y'all, the people who we had working with us this year, all the way from the SuperWOW staff to the speaker, his name is Patrick. I do not remember his last name. I am so sorry, but his first name is Patrick. I know that much. Our illusionist was Brock Gill this year. Absolutely amazing. And one thing, a lot of people have a concern with having an illusionist at a church camp. Okay, that's fine. I mean, that's not really something you have a lot of times. But one thing I do love about this person and all illusionists that the SuperWOW's ever had is they say, this is not magic. It's sleight of hand. It's just something to get the kids involved with. They'll call them up on stage, get the leaders involved with. He was involved with one. Patrick Thompson was the speaker. As if y'all can see this picture, I'm showing it to you. Anyway, so, yeah. And then, like I said, Brock Gill, he was our illusionist this year. Absolutely amazing. He also, one cool thing this year that he did, he was our speaker, pastor, whatever you want to call him. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, I was answering a question. He was our speaker or pastor for our morning worship, which was really cool, having a different perspective from somebody who you don't normally hear from, because he's not a pastor. Like I said, he's a professional illusionist. He travels around doing that, but also with his illusions, he shares the gospel. And he goes around to different countries. He said he's been to, they go to Greece a lot, and they actually help Muslim refugees who are coming into Greece to flee other countries. They help them, support them, and they also, in the mix of it, they share the gospel with them and have several of them saved and choose to follow Christ. So that's an amazing thing. He shared, I think they're ready, so I'm not going to... Okay. I'm going to share just one quick story with you that he shared with us that I thought was absolutely amazing, and just shows the courage that one human being has and the faith that one human being has. He says when he goes over to these foreign countries, especially Greece, he has a translator, of course, because he can't speak that language. He's from Louisiana. He said he's from somewhere in between Duck Dynasty and Swamp People. That's where he's from. But anyway, so he goes and he has a translator. I want to say his name was James. Thank you. And James was, he was a Muslim. He's now a Christian, but he was a Muslim. And he just gave a little bit of backstory about James. He said that growing up, of course, James was a Muslim, like I said. And he, when he was older, I believe he joined the military to fight against the Taliban. and he saw these military men from Sweden, and they were Christians, and he saw that they were doing things differently. He made the comment, he was like, they were eating with their left hand, and they were eating pork, but also the fact of how they were treating other people. They would use their own money to buy candy for the local children and stuff like that, and he just was like, wow, that's amazing. And he saw this book that they were reading, so he went to the local bookstore, and it was illegal. And I believe it still is illegal to buy a Bible or purchase or sell a Bible in Afghanistan where he was. And he got the bookkeeper to give him a Bible. He had to wait 3 months, and he used a whole month's salary on this one Bible. And he spent that much money on this one book. At that point, it was just a book to him. And he was reading it. He was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. He didn't really understand what he was reading, but he was interested in what it was saying. And he was like, well, I spent a whole month's salary on this. I might as well read it through. So, long story short, he kept reading the Bible, and I believe he got saved before he went back home. But anyway, he went back home to visit with his family, and somebody found his Bible. If you are found with a Bible, you are automatically executed in that country. And somebody found his Bible, and he was really concerned with it because it was in his room, and then he came home and it wasn't. And he knew, he feared for his life. And his cousin, during the middle of the night, his cousin called him on the phone and was like, hey, they're coming for you, man. Come out. I'm out here on a motorcycle. They took him, literally zigzagged through the country to where they could get to a boat to take him over to Greece, so where he would be safe. But before he left, before his cousin called him on the phone, he prayed. He had, at this point, is my mistake. He had not asked Jesus into his heart. He was not a Christian at this point. He still believed. He was still a Muslim. Sorry. Tongue-tied. But before his cousin called him on the phone, when he found out that somebody had his Bible, somebody found it, he was in trouble, he prayed to God, and he said, God, if you are one true God, help me get out of this situation alive. After that, his cousin called him on the phone. He made it out of the country and over to Greece, and he is safe and sound and still alive today. So, at that point, he was like, wow, I did this. So that was just confirmation of what the Bible was preaching, or what he was reading in the Bible, and he chose to accept Jesus in his heart from a Muslim. And at that point, he decided, because Brock, the illusionist, he was asking, what are you going to do? What are your plans? And he said that I'm going to go back to my country, because he has not seen or heard from his family in all these years since this has happened. He's like, I'm going to go back, and I'm going to preach the gospel until I'm martyred. Until I'm martyred. He knows that there's a possibility that it will happen, but yet he still chooses because he believes, because that's what saved him. So stuff like that is what these kids were introduced to this week, and what was almost drilled into their brain almost, like God is with you. And the whole, there's nothing on this board. Nothing's up there. I don't know, I'm pointing back there. Anywho, on the back of the shirt, you'll see pursuit. And that's the whole theme of this week, was pursue God. No matter what it is, pursue God. No matter if your life depends on it, pursue Him. Is that some of our youth? Oh, never mind. Everybody clap. Ready? He's not coming. Where's he at? Hey. Hey. M85. Like M85. They're fine. Don't worry about them. To translate, he says they're in room M85. They moved him out of the ER. They're going to keep her out at night. They think she is dehydrated. That's what he said. I don't know. He didn't say that. Everybody else knows. So you're good. Medical center. Even Mr. Nipper knows. Okay. So we're about to... I believe we're ready. Maybe? Possibly. So we're about to do something that's just, it's what we did when we first got to SuperWOW, just to hype everybody up. And we're also going to do the church clap. So, my peoples who are sitting down, if you would like to join in, please do so. Because it's a lot of fun. We look a hot mess because none of us can dance, but especially Jacob. Bill has some moves, though. Y'all see that a little later. But anyway, if y'all would like to join in and dance, it's just a church clap, just something really cute and fun that we do. Just get into it. We're going to do some little I'm throwing stuff. We're just going to do some chants also that we did. And y'all just get into it. If you want to sing, if you want to chant along with us, that's great. It's a lot of fun. So just get hype, get pumped, because that's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to continue doing even after SuperWOW has ended. So.
Church mother in they church hat clap. Man, that sure gave her color purple coming back clap. When that whole week beat you up and stress you, but you hear that organ playing and remind you of your blessings. And on another note, she just hit another note. Chills down my spine, got me crying, make me overload. You
Okay, so y'all can go sit down for a second. So, I know this is kind of different from every other presentation we've ever done, because, I mean, we've never had a chance. You're welcome. Anyway, so what we're going to first start off with is great videos. They are beautiful. I mean, they're just amazing. Yeah. So we're going to start off with those. Please, I do ask, hold your applause to the end if you want to. But Taylor, if you want to start with the videos, I can. Okay, so who loved that, by the way? That was awesome. Okay, so in the morning times, we had one of the SuperWOW staffs. His name was Cordell. He had a morning show with Cordell type deal experience going on. And they had a challenge. They had a lip sync battle that our one and only Bill, he participated in along with another leader from another church. And it was actually 4 points for the SuperWOW Cup. And we'll get to that in a little bit. Don't give it away if you already know. But he won. He can lip sing. Good job. Good job. Y'all, literally what got it was when he was like, that was what made that entire thing. That's why everybody voted for him. Yes, that will be in one of the pictures. Look for that picture. He had a fangirl. She was like, she came up to him. She was like, "Can I take a picture with you?" So it was that good. So everybody, round of applause. Next. She screams in her videos.
4, 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, so a little bit of story behind this video because it's really short. Come here, Skeeter. This guy. Never, ever play this game with him. He will beat you every time. He's really good. See, the whole story about it is it was raining, so they had to do rec games inside. So they did minutes and win-it games. Never play a game against him. Never. Anyway, so the whole thing was you had the cup. Ping pong ball is inside the cup, which you cannot see. At first, he's just like, exactly. Yeah. The first time he did it, instead of pulling from the front that you see, he pulled from behind, and he like automatically was like, "I'm done with this, y'all." That was easy. Benji, the rec coordinator. He was like, "What?" He was like, No. We got to redo this. Everybody had to pull from the front. And he's still, y'all can see, he literally, if y'all look at the other guy in the blue beside him, he literally like just beat him. So that was one rec game that our orange team won. Yes, they did change the cups. The first cup was like a small little styrofoam coffee cup. This one was like a red Solo cup. So, yeah. I don't really know if that had any difference in it at all. Yeah. So, because he had already won one, so they were going to see if he could do it as quickly as the first one. But it was awesome. Speaking of orange team, before we go any farther, y'all heard us do the orange. We had chants for our color. We were orange. There were 4 different colors. We had about 3 or 4 other churches. 4 churches in our color group. We were the smallest color group there. yeah, we were the smallest out of the 4 different groups. We were the smallest group there, but that did not stop us at all. I mean, we did amazing. So all the points. Yes, all the points that we talk about, the points are going towards the SuperWOW Cup that we could have potentially won. So, next video, please. Okay, I just want to say I am mighty proud of this. I am mighty proud of this moment in my life. No. Okay, we were playing Ninja. If you've never played Ninja before, come here, Melmo. We're gonna do it. Okay, Skeeter and Melmo. We don't need everybody. Okay, we're going to do a small demonstration. Small demonstration of what Ninja is, and there's a whole slideshow on it. It's like, I know, I got this. Thanks, ma'am. There's a whole slideshow on like pictures of us playing Ninja because, I mean, hey, when you're bored at SuperWOW and you're waiting in line, you start playing Ninja and other churches join in and you just get to slap people around for fun. Not really. Not really. And yes, in a way, but not really. So. Listen, it's all fun and games until somebody puts their butt in your face. That happened to me. That guy I was playing, he put his booty in my face. I did not like it. I did not appreciate it. Mm-mm. Anyway, it was not like on purpose, I promise. He was not. Okay, let's get out of that. Okay. We're going to do a short demonstration.
All right, everybody. The way they play Ninja is you have 2 hands. The first person will start, and they'll all strike a pose. And then it'll go from Fair to Austin to Mel. And the goal is to try to slap the other person on the hand. They can move their hands, but they cannot move their feet. If they do, they can only take 1 step, and that's it. You cannot move. All right, so ready? 1, 2, 3. Ninja. She's already lost a hand. And Mel's out that quick. He lost a hand. So y'all see how this game takes a little bit of skill. Just like that. And that's a quick demonstration on how you play Ninja.
Yeah, so we played that a lot this week whenever we're waiting to get into worship. Yeah, it's awesome. It's great. Plus you get to slap people for fun. Not really. Okay. No, yes. Yes. Next.
So close! Come on, baby! Good job! Woo!
Yes, that was Melmo screaming. Yeah.
So close! Come on, baby! Good job!
Come on, girly. Y'all, we are so super proud of her, and you will find out why.
So I can't swim worth of nothing, or at least I thought so. Mr. Whatchamacallit right there, my father, he's terrified. So me and him really don't swim. And then I wanted to swim with everybody, so I got out there and I doggy paddled my whole entire way to the other side.
Okay, so what she's talking about is that whole long deck. That's like half of the deck. It was kind of long. You had, in order to swim or do the slide or iceberg or whatever, you had to get this bracelet that says swimmer. It's a swimming test that you have to pass. You have to make it through down that whole dock, and without stopping, without holding on to the side. And she did it. And y'all, we are absolutely so proud of her because, I mean, she was so nervous and so scared, but she overcame that fear just so she can participate with the rest of us. I think a little bit might have had to do with the fact that she was told, come on, man, you ain't going to let your little sister out, do you now? So. But y'all, she did great, and just to make Dad feel a little bit more nervous, that was 18 to 20 foot deep water. So she did it. She was not touching the ground right there. She was not touching the ground. She was swimming it. She was doing it on her own, and she did amazing. And Mackenzie did it as well. Mackenzie, everybody passed their swimming test, so that's awesome. Nobody drowned. Nope.
She went ahead and put my wristband on, and I just jumped in the water and like mid-jump. I was like, I can't swim. Bang, splash. And I'm sitting there above water and it just floated in my head. And she just looked at me, and it was great. She just kind of had to be there, but oh, that was really funny.
Wants to give the lifeguard a heart attack. That's fine. But no, I really want to say these lifeguards there, they are absolutely phenomenal. There were like 5 lifeguards on this one little small area just to make sure nobody got hurt. And you have a lifeguard in the water with her while she's doing it, and a lifeguard up top right there. And there's another one, I believe, sitting up top on that stair, on that lifeguard stair that you see in the background. So, I mean, okay, yeah. There's a floating dock with a lifeguard, 2 floating docks with lifeguards in them. Everybody watching her, everybody cheering her on. She did absolutely amazing. Yeah.
They're cheering her on, and I mean, that just goes to show the sportsmanship and, like, the camaraderie between, I mean, the strangers.
The water was absolutely amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. Well, it was a lake, so I'd hope it would. Next video, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you have now received.
Okay, so what's going on in this video? Who knows?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Nobody. So the guy with the hat on talking, saying, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is Benjamin. Benjamin London is his name. He was our rec coordinator. He was also over the SuperWOW Cup points this year. He's an absolutely amazing guy. Very friendly. He's awesome. Huh? Yeah, he did. Because, I mean, he loves orange. So. That's fine. That's fine. Anyway, so what's going on in this? We had a scavenger hunt that we played the entire week. Actually, we were the second church out of all the churches there. We were the second church to finish the scavenger hunt. So that was kind of kudos to us. Yeah, that's what I said. Oh, my bad. We finished it Wednesday. I'm sorry. Anyway, we were still the second church to finish. Anyway. So what we're doing in the video is Benjamin who here has seen the new Avengers movie? I don't want to give any spoilers out. Who's going to go see it? Who cares if I give spoilers out? Well, it's in both of them. It's in both of them. Yes. Okay, so anyway, in Infinity War, you have Thanos goes and gets the Infinity Stones, blah, 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 blah. And so we had to go find the Infinity Stones from the different SuperWOW staff. I'm not going to give any spoilers away. You're good. Sorry. And, anyway, so you have like the 6 different Infinity Stones. We had to go to different SuperWOW staff and find them. We didn't know who they were. We were given clues as to who had one. Benjamin had one. He had the Soul Stone, and you give a soul for a soul type deal. And so we had to sacrifice Autumn. She volunteered. We sacrificed her. Jacob pushed her in the leg. He was like, I wanted to like pick you up and throw you in there, but I just pushed you. So good to her. But anyway, so that's what's going on. We, like Jacob said, we finished on Wednesday, which is awesome. We've never really finished a scavenger hunt ever at SuperWOW before, so that was a lot of fun. So is that all the videos we have? Oh, this was one of the block parties we had. Well, the block party we had. We only had one. It was a late night celebration. You'll see some people that's just dancing, having a great time, lights, music, really late at night, like 11:30 at night. And so just having a great time with everybody, dancing around. They started doing some old church dance music, kind of like the church clap, but older, and I did not know them because they were old. He knew them. Don't know what that's saying about him, but he knew him. But anyway, so this is just an example of one of the late night celebrations that we had. That's one thing that's different from Toccoa. At Fort Walton, we never had a late night celebration where everybody participated in it. So that was really cool. It just kind of gets everybody out, hanging out with each other, having a great time. Very first night, we had a bonfire out by the lake. Yeah, it's in the pictures. We roasted s'mores. I roasted marshmallows. I did not eat s'mores. I don't like marshmallows, but I helped roast marshmallows for those who are scared to get towards the fire. Yes, I got you. And then I think the second night, Brock Gill, the illusionist, did a show for us. It was absolutely phenomenal. If you ever get the chance to see him, he's amazing. And then WOW Wars. They're like minute to win it games. Our church won one out of all the games played. We won one, or our group won one. Yes, we did. Yeah, we were amazing. Anyway, so and then last night there we had the big block party. So tons of fun, getting everybody pumped up for the next day. And is that all the videos we have? Oh, there we go. Woo! And you hear Melmo's loud scream in the back. We're not. Yeah. Huh? Yes.
For the longest time, and this is a group of like 3 athletic guys.
Yeah.
Versus me, Salem, and Austin. So I mean, give or take, we were tied with these guys for the longest time.
We only won because it was time to transition to the next game, and they were like last point wins, and they made it, not us, unfortunately. But it was fun nonetheless. So that's just an example of some of the rec games that we did. Yes, cheering points. Those were our thing. But yeah, so that's just an example. We were outside at this big, huge rec field playing tons of different games. So just lots of fun getting people, like I said, getting people involved, showing good sportsmanship. Because, with like the SuperWOW points, if you did not show good sportsmanship, if you were not nice to one another, stuff like that, they would take the points away. So y'all, we were like, good job. You didn't even play the game. Good job. Just like going at it. But yeah, is that the last video we have? No? Oh, Lord, no. Oh, look at that serve. I did that. Woo. Oh, we tried. Woo! See, we were good until we weren't. So, we had to go in there, and then we missed it. Yeah. Hey, after I figured out how to do it, I was good. Yeah. Yes. we teaching them. We going to get a volleyball net or set up the one that we have and start playing more volleyball so we don't look a mess.
Hey, boss! Oh! No, you can't touch it with your hand. You gotta blow it, Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, okay, so this is the same day as when Skeeter won the little thing. Salem was like right here, and she had to go all the way down here and back on her knees blowing a ping pong ball with a straw. And you could not touch the ping pong ball. You had to... It was tough, but she did great. We almost got that one. She did absolutely amazing. She's not here tonight, but she's awesome. I couldn't do it. Is that all? Okay. So what's coming up next is a bunch of pictures. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Oh.
You look like a little baby. You're back gently down the street.
Y'all, I just want to say, Skeeter's sitting there in the bottom of that canoe. I told Mel several times, I'm like, he looks like a big old baby with long arms. He was just like splashing in the water. Oh, my bad. Oh, no sound. That's Autumn. She's doing that.
Look at Skeeter. He looks like a little baby.
Sorry. Oh, it's in there. It's coming. So is that the last video? Okay, we're good. So the next is just a bunch of pictures. I think there's a song to go with the picture. Beautiful. There is a song. I'm gonna hush now.
understand me, God. You understand me. Oh, so I throw all my cares before you. My doubts and fears don't scare you. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. So I stop all negotiations with the God of all creation. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought you were. Yeah. You're bigger than I thought you were. About time I started learning to trust you. About time I started learning to rest in you. I will rest. I will rest in the Father's hands. Leave the rest in the Father's hands. I will rest. I will rest in the Father's hands. Leave the rest in the Father's hands. I will rest in you. I will rest, yeah, in the Father's hands. Leave the rest in the Father's. Let it all go. I will rest in the Father's hands. Oh, leave the rest in the Father's hands. I throw all my cares before you. My doubts and fears don't scare you. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. So I stop all negotiations with the God of all creation. 'Cause you're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than, so much bigger than I thought. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought you were. You broke past my expectations, God. You broke past my expectations. Learning to trust. I will rest. I will rest.
We won the SuperWOW Cup.
Father's hand. Leave the rest in the Father's hands. I will rest.
Yeah, that big picture is all of the orange team, orange squad. Those are just embarrassing pictures I feel like throwing in there.
I throw all my cares. 'Cause I throw all
By the way,
my
that sloth's
cares
name is Bertha.
before you. My doubts and fears don't scare you. You're bigger than I thought you were. You're bigger than I thought. So I stop all.
All right, y'all. So I'm going to explain a little more about what you've seen in some of this slideshow. Can you go back to the missions one for me? All right, this year was the very first year that this church has ever participated in missions. And does anybody understand what missions is? It's self-volunteer to give back to your community. And in the community of Toccoa, there is a trained observation center, and that's what you see in most of the pictures here. Literally everybody but me painted that. And I'm on the bottom right down here. Right behind, they have a museum, and they have a prayer garden there, and they wanted a fence built around it. So me having construction background, the guy looks at me and goes, "You're in charge of this." I'm like, okay. So we built the prayer garden fence, and the rest of them actually painted this. And from what I understand, every kid loved it. It touched their hearts to be able to give back, and they're all screaming, "What can we do here? What can we do here?" So this is something we're going to continue to do, but we just wanted you to see that these guys actually gave their hearts to people they don't even know.
was going to say something real cool. That was real quick. That was really cool. About the museum that he spoke about. Fun fact. In World War II, when we had D-Day, which was this past week, we actually, that was really cool because that was the day we were there painting and building. That was anniversary of D-Day. But anyway, so that museum is all about D-Day and the invasion of Normandy. Yeah, I was trying to say that. I got this. I'm out of breath. I'm sorry. Invasion of Normandy. But anyway, so that entire museum is about that, dedicated to that, because come to find out that all of the soldiers who trained for D-Day went through Toccoa. So that was an awesome experience that we were able just to be there where that happened, that led to the end of World War II. So that was awesome in itself. There's tons and tons of pictures that are not on this just because just lack of time, but we're gonna post those on our Instagram page.
Yeah, so if you don't have an Instagram, go make an Instagram and follow St. God's Spot _.
Yes.
Hey, y'all notice he's on that side of the church and we're over here? No. I want to explain something about that. It says, so while we're throwing Jacob under the bus here, go back to the boat one for me. And I'm going to, go ahead.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
I don't need it. All right. So at this picture right here, me and Bill done pulled the boat out the water. So it started off, we decided we were going to go canoeing. The leaders were going to go canoeing while the other kids were on the slide so we could have leader conversations in the middle of the lake. Be soothing. And plus we can get away from these. You know what I'm saying? So all right, anyway. Yeah, they eventually came out there and about sank. So besides the point. So what originally happened, Bill had done got in the boat. No. I did not say that. Bill was in the boat. I told Bill, I was like, look, I've never been canoeing before, so I'm going to let you do all the steering, so I know the steering's in the back. I got the muscles, so I was like, I can push forward real fast. So I'm going to do that. So Bill got in the back. He's chilling on the back seat, all comfortable, all leveled out. So I'm like, I was messing, and see, by this time, I was still messing with the lifeguard. I was like, look, now if we get in the middle of this lake, and we tip over, and you start hearing somebody yell for help, hop in one of the motorized boats and come and get me, because it's probably going to be me, because I can't swim. That was the joke. That was the joke of the week. And, I made it off the dock. But see, what they don't tell you is the dock is probably like half of this little steeple down into the boat. But that's just from like the bottom of the dock to the boat. So it's really like I'm stepping off this on the ground. I put all my weight to one side, and Bill was no longer sitting on the back of the boat. Me and him were both face first in the water, tasting dirt because it was only like maybe 2 foot deep. So it was at my ankles. I had a mouthful of dirt, boat full of water. And we got in another little fun story. We got into the middle of the lake, and Memo done handed us her phone, and she was like, y'all get a picture of me and Farrah. Me and Farrah don't have no pictures. We need a picture on the boat. So they got up next to us like real cool type. So I'm talking about a taxi, just skirt, traded it, handed it over to Bill, and now Bill's like, I'm gonna just sit it in the floorboard, and she was like, you get my phone in that water, I'm going to kill you. And by this point, our boat done dried in the bottom, and they were like, y'all's can't be dry. Ours has water in it. I'm like, hold up. Y'all didn't sink y'all's boat. We did, and our boat's dry, and y'all's has water in it.
Wait, no, listen. You dumped the water out of your boat when you flipped it.
Hey, But guess what?
Ours?
Hey, it was still dry.
No. Ours had water in it before we got in there. So, no, there was no more water in it when we got out.
It was a dude, so that wasn't going to happen. I'm sorry. Hey, I'm sorry. Hey. I'm a Christian and I know the Bible. Okay. What's up, buddy? I mean, now, there were lady lifeguards there, but that's not what we were there for. Y'all remember that? So, no, I did not get nobody's phone number. Hey, we needed that. That was a little Jacob and Bill bonding time. Now he trusts me a little bit more, I think. Just, hey. Just a little bit.
Oh, speaking of Titanic. Y'all, you missed a picture in here. I don't know if you could really see it because it was cut off. But, y'all, I need y'all to do that pose again because it was, and I need you to make the face. Come on. Yes.
You gotta look like you like it.
Wait. Turn this way so everybody can see your face. Picture time. No, okay, so the story behind that, we played during our rec game. Yeah, Les. Mel, come here. Yeah, you come here. So during our rec time, we had to play this. Yeah, it's the very top. You can see his tummy. But during rec time, we had this game. It was called Ships and Sails. And get ready, everybody coming to Vacation Bible School. We are going to play this game called Ships and Sails. It's kind of like, sure. Okay, I'll call it out. I need 3 of you. Oh, that was harsh. Kenzie, Autumn, and Sierra. Okay, so we're going to play a very quick rundown. Just get in the middle right here. I'm going to play a very quick rundown. So, Melmel's going to show all the different moves. So, okay, you had ships. You ran to one end. Sails. You ran to the other end. You had hit the deck. Then you had captains coming. Now, from this position, you could not move until I said at ease. Okay, so captain's coming. Okay, so then you had one called seasickness. Seasickness. At ease. Seasick. You had to act like you were seasick. Who is pointing? Okay, now you could not move from this position until you said Pepto-Bismol. Okay, so how Melmo got out was they said seasick, and they said captain's coming, and she jumped up, and they were like, oh, you're out. So, and then you have Titanic, which is what the picture was of them two. Now, the reason why it was Bill and Jacob, and the reason why Farrah got out was absolutely, yes, it was not nice at all. You had to have the same gender whenever you did the Titanic. Yes. Beautiful. So you had to get the same gender. So my partner the whole time was Mel because we know each other, and I don't want to go up to somebody else and grab their. No, that's just weird. So Mel had gotten out, other girls had gotten out. So it was literally the very last 3 people in the entire group playing was myself, Bill, and then some other boy from the blue team. So I mean, it was 2 boys and a girl. The girl called Titanic, and I'm the only girl, and I'm like, that is not fair. So I was automatically out.
There was 2 kids from the blue team, and then there was like 4 girls, and they yelled Titanic, and y'all, it was a little weird. I just snatched them.
He was like, I'm not losing. And then we have 5 men rowing. Now think about it. You had to have 5 people. If you had 6 people, one team had 7. Like, y'all can't count. If you had 6 people, either the 6th person had to move and be out, or the whole row got out. Yeah. It's like, no, go away, go away. You don't go here. Yeah, 4 people pointing north. You had to have 4 people pointing north. Self-explanatory. Yes. 2 other people. I was like, come here. Yeah. No, we didn't even pull him. He abandoned his color. He was like, nah. No. Yes. Yeah.
I just want to add this, though. We adopted the green team and the blue team.
Yes. They love us. Yes. I mean, we were winning, so that was... Anyway. They're good. They're both up here. They're good. But yeah, that's just the game. And it was basically like Simon says. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun, especially when they start calling it out really quickly. So get ready. Vacation Bible School's coming up. We are going to play that game. So just be prepared. I think that's...
All right. I need six people.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right, come on. All right, look. It's a game called Gorilla Man Gun. You have this little tune that goes with it. I really don't know the tune. Yeah.
Back to back. Back to back. Everybody got to get back to back.
Man beats gorilla. Oh. Yeah, it's gorilla beats man. Man beats... One. And then when you do that, you do gorilla, man, or gun. If you do the different one of the opposite one, if you lose, you lose. You're out. You're out. I mean, and if you tie, you both out. I mean, we played that one of the seminars. You guys are good. It's all dismissed. All right. Yeah, guys. Thank you. And girls. But yeah, and I mean, it was fun. I was in the seminar with them, and I'm very competitive, so I win at everything I do. And if I don't, we're playing again. Because I'm that competitive, I'm sorry. It's a nature. But no, we played that one seminar, and and the orange team won again. So, yeah, I actually won, but I'm not bragging. The orange team won because I was older than that kid I beat. So, the orange team won. We're the best. All right. Yeah, I actually do think that's it. Y'all have anything you want to add before we bring them up? All right. Toilet paper game. We didn't have a video on that one. No, dude. Scoot over a little bit. All right. Yeah, your brother, not you. Your brother. All right, now what we're going to do, we're going to get them up here individually. So they'll tell you guys what they experienced all week, kind of give you the rundown from their view of SuperWOW and what they experienced, what they went through, and what they learned. So, Uno to Butterbean / Lima Bean / B Randon / Brandon. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hold on. I have a story for this one and that one. Skeeter and Butterbean. So we became very close with this one church, First Baptist Church out of Hogansville, and they had a couple girls in the church and their youth group, and after a leader meeting on the last day, we were sitting in the rotunda, which was like the main lobby. We're sitting in there, and the girls, they just look at me, and they say, "That boy in y'all's youth group with the black glasses, almost like yours. It's kind of built like you too. I mean, just kind of short and stocky." I was like, "Yeah? What about him? His name's Brandon. What you want to know? Is that your son?" I was like, hold up. How old do you think I am? I mean, late 20s, early 30s. I was like, hold up. You're getting out of hand. I need you to quit. I am only 21. So, you heard what I said earlier. All right. But I know you follow us. All right. Anyway, here goes Brandon and what he experienced.
All right. So, I can't really read my handwriting from the first 3 nights. I can't really read my handwriting from the first 3 nights, but I do have a lot of notes for the 4th night. That was the one that meant the most to me. Because, like, the first day we were there, I got over my fear of, like putting my hands up. I never wanted to do that before. Like, whenever I felt the feeling like God was telling me, like, put your hands up, praise me, I never did it. I sat there. Whenever he called me to the altar, I wouldn't go. I just sat there on the edge of my seat, wanting to go, but I never went. And I learned a lot of important lessons on the 4th night. Like, from the second we got in there, I couldn't stop crying until we got out, because every word they were saying, it hit me right there like somebody was hitting me in the face over and over. I learned three main lessons from that night. Number 1 was forgiveness, because I used to like that I thought I forgave people, but I'd think in my head I'd forgiven them, but I never forgot, and I never actually forgave them. So I had to learn that if I do forgive them, I have to do the same thing God did for me when he forgave me. He didn't keep treating me like, let's say, I stole something. I haven't actually done that, but say I stole something from a grocery store. If somebody stole from a grocery store and they told me, and say they stole something from me, and I forgave them, I'd always, like, if they walked into my store again, I think they're going to steal something, right? But if I stole something and God was the owner of this store, he wouldn't look at me that way. He'd look at me as a new person. He wouldn't think I was going to steal. So I learned that's what I have to do with people. I have to really learn to actually forgive them, not just forgive them. I had to learn to do things God's way, not my way, because when I did things my way, nothing turned out right. I realized that in order for God to put me on the right track where I need to be, he has to take me off my old one. In order for him to rebuild me, he has to tear me down. That has to be pain before there can be grace. And I learned that I had to trust God, even if things didn't go my way, or things weren't going right. I had to realize that I had to put all my faith in him, and not just a little bit thinking, yeah, I prayed about it and it should go right, but I don't know if it will. I have to be like, after I pray, I have to be like, all right, I prayed now, I know it's going to go right. You have to realize that once you put all your faith in him, like 125% of your faith, then it will happen. But when you're just like, you pray and you're like, dear God, I really want that new PlayStation game, and I kind of want it, but like, I don't know if you're going to give it to me or not. He's not going to give it to you because he knows you didn't really mean it. You weren't sincere when you said all that. But if you're sincere and you trust God, you put all your faith in God, ask and you shall receive.
I mean, what can I say when God makes 2 good-looking people? I mean, sorry, Brandon, but... All right, Skeeter, come on. All right, now I got a story for this one, too. Now, I got stopped one night after one of the services and by somebody from an opposite team, and I just got done talking to Skeeter and Butterbean, and I sent them on to follow the leaders, and they pulled me and they said, "Psst, can I talk to you for a second?" And they were whispering for some reason. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll talk with you. And they said, the blonde-headed one. I said, all right, well, I know they're talking about Skeeter. He's the only kind of blonde-headed one we got. Even though some of these girls act like they're blonde. Now we do. Hold on. We do have Kaylee, and Kaylee is a straight blonde, like bleach blonde. But they stopped me and they was like, "Yeah, the blonde-headed boy. Is that your son too?" I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "Look, I'm gonna just tell everybody this right now. I am not old enough to have a kid in this youth group. Quit asking." But here goes Skeeter / Austin / my homeboy.
Alright, so I learned to forgive. And I learned what active faith and passive faith was. And active faith is like when you're having faith like right then. Passive faith is like having faith then but not now. Not like acting like you have it, but... And I learned that Monday night when we were here, I learned that, like, I'm going to use Jacob examples, like his chain, it's worthless, but he still has it. Everything you have is worthless. Like what you eat, drink, and all that, it's worthless. The worthless one. I didn't write the verse down. I wrote this down a while ago.
You don't have your notes from Monday night?
They're in the car. Or at my house.
All right, well, I'm going to just explain. Monday night we went over Matthew chapter 6, verse 25 and 6. Verses 25 through 26. And, well, yeah, we ended up reading from like verse 19 all the way down to 34. And what he's talking about, that's worthless, that everything is worthless. But when we get up to heaven, the only thing that really matters is our faith, our grace, our soul is right with God. And that's really what he's meaning is by all the stuff, this materialism is not worth anything. And it's really not. And that's where he was going with that, just so you guys are like, all right, well, I understand that chain's not worth a thing. It's worth money, but, I mean, other than that, it's not worth anything. And y'all aren't just stuck there. That make sure you guys understand where he was coming from with that. So, here you go, homie. I'm not trying to steal your spotlight. You're done. That's it? Huh? Ready everything? You sure? You done? All right. Well, Skeeter. All right, Sierra, my cranny, old chatterbox, old talky talk, old giggle box. Oh, Lord, she looks like a cherry right now. It's okay. It's okay. Breathe a little bit. You good? All right, Sierra.
Okay, I first got to say that Friday night I got saved. I learned it is not good to hide things or hold things in and to pray about it instead. Monday night, I learned don't worry about tomorrow because God knows what he will bring for us tomorrow. Like, one day I was worrying about my mama and papa because of him being in the hospital, but I knew God had them in his hands. And people don't need to think about what is going to happen tomorrow because God actually knows what will happen. We don't know what will happen because we think we do, but we don't. Jesus Christ does. People think you shouldn't talk to anybody because they think that's the best decision, but it isn't because that's nothing but worry and stress. I learned to talk to Jesus daily or just whenever something is bothering me.
Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. No, Baby J. Kind of had a little joke going on with Baby J when we were down there. Talking about, like, look, he hit a milestone. He really did. And after our, what was it, Friday night session, there was a picture actually up there when it was talking about family groups. We got right out of service, and that was one of them spirit-filled services. What I'm talking about make you want to get out your seat, start running the aisles. And it was good. Oh yeah, everybody. It wasn't a soul in our youth group and youth leadership that wasn't crying. So, but kind of had a joke with him. We got up there and we just sat on the steps because we couldn't get in our regular family group location because another church was there, so we weren't going to ruin what was going on with them. So we decided to sit on the steps. We get up there and Baby J's like, "Is your book? Oh, did not mean to lose your spot." Baby J's like, "I got something to say. I got something to say." I was like, "All right, Baby J." Yeah, he came up to us and he was like, he said, "Mr. Jacob, why did I cry when they started playing that song?" I was like, "Baby J, I mean, God's touching you, homie. That's what's going on." But yeah, hey, that was just a super proud moment when he held his book up. He was like, "I got something to say. Can I say it? Hey, can I say it? Can I say it? Can I say it?" It was a super proud moment. And so whenever we got done there, I told him, I was like, "All right, you just graduated Baby J. That's not your nickname anymore. Your nickname is Big J." So there you go, homie.
During the worship on Thursday, I wrote something and down is love your friends and enemies. And Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9 through 10 says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, one will lift up his companion. And Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12 says, though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. And Galatians chapter 5, verse 14 says, for the law is fulfilled in one word, even this, you shall love thy neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, he has a challenge now because he was able to stand up and always sit for a while, and just right now, he's going to be up here for a Sunday night.
Knuckles, dude! All right. Who else? Who else wants to go? Mackenzie! Oh yeah. Hold on. All right. I was going to introduce her that way. Coming to the stage, it is Mackenzie Graham. All right. I'm going to give y'all a little background on that one, too. The same night Baby J did that, Mackenzie, she was sitting there, and next thing you know, she just sprouted up. Now, she is so shy, y'all. She was so shy. This child here, she said, I got something to say. Just flicked her finger like that, talking about something, I got something to say. And she said, Flips, can I have the floor? We're like, yeah, go ahead. So here, go ahead, and we'll finish that story in a minute.
Okay. So I'm not using that because I do not need it. But most of all, I want to thank Farrah Mau Mau for helping me through everything that I was going through. And wherever y'all are out there in the world, thanks to Abby and Carly. And well, I learned that all of us struggle with spiritual blindness. And well, first of all, I've been going through a lot, and been going through a lot. Well, I learned that I can be any way and God still loves me. And I need to tell a story. So I got a story for y'all. So me, Autumn, and Skeeter, we were on a boat, right? And so we started going, and there was a horsefly, and it started attacking Autumn, and it bit Skeeter. And so we started going, and we started going into the water farther and farther, and water started coming in the back of the boat. I started screaming. I was terrified. Whew. And Autumn jumps out the boat, and the boat started to tip over. And the lifeguards were sitting there laughing at us. And I have a friend, and his name's Bobby. Well, so when we went to the lake, I had a fish. Y'all know his name's Bobby, and he kept biting my toes. He wouldn't stop either. He kept bothering me and bothering me. We were about to have a girl fight. That's what we were about to have. And so every day I would go around camp and be like, juicy, juicy, juicy beefaroni. And I got everybody to say juicy because that is my favorite word. And there was this boy, his name was RJ. And RJ said that he liked me because of my personality. Friends, Dad. So, one last thing I gotta say. Y'all go buy my CD, Mackenzie Graham. And still thank you, Farrah and Mel Mel. Y'all are the best. And I love both of y'all. Thank y'all for everything. Thank you, Jacob, for nothing. And by the way, Jacob here and he digged his nose.
They have tried to embarrass him all week. They're like, he's over there picking his nose. Happy birthday. And they'll shout that in the middle of dinner or lunch or whatever, trying to embarrass this man.
All right, Brother Nipper, we love you. All right, Mackenzie Graham. What? Mackenzie Graham, she told us when we were on the stairs that night, she said, I feel like, what, hold on. How did it go? She said, I feel like Billy Graham. She was like, hold up. I'm Mackenzie Graham.
She said, we got to talk to Pawpaw when we get back. I got to get licensed. I'm going to be a preacher like Graham. I'm going to marry one of the Grahams, and I'm going to be Mackenzie Graham.
Oh, man. All right. Cassie, my home girl, This is one of the few I did not get a chance to embarrass.
He roasted me a few times.
Yeah,
though.
hey, we did have a good time at Stevie B's on the way up there. We were sitting in our... We were sitting there because when we got to Stevie B's, they gave us a party room, and we're sitting in there, and she's just talking about me. I'm like, girl, look, I know I'm your favorite person ever, but you got to quit talking about me. You were flirting with me. And she said, hold up. And I said, everybody, shh, shh, shh. Y'all hear that? You just got burned. And it went on from there. It went on from there, and she absolutely had a good time. But here...
There's a story behind that. Okay, that is not true.
All right, here we go. So here goes Cassie. Go home, girl.
Okay, so first of all, I just stare at his crack. That is not true. Okay. He was like, you interrupted my crack, and I was like, well, you show it all the time. I do not always look at his crack, okay? But anyways, first of all, Mackenzie wants me to share a story. She's over here like, do not share my story. So I'm like, okay. She wants me to share it bad, don't she? Well, we were sitting there, and we went to this like museum, and there was like a little movie or a clip or something about Tallulah Falls, and then we were waiting for it to turn on, right? Me, Mackenzie, Brandon, and Sierra were sitting right there. They're like wooden benches, and then she goes, I need a fart, and then she just farts on me, and it vibrates the whole bench. And then she goes, my farts go pop, pop, pop. Okay. So, the week was pretty fun, as y'all saw. But, a few things I learned about. Our first night, something like, it's like there's some things that we have to let go of, like we have used some stuff for our security or something. I don't really remember. The reason we don't let go of our security is our fear. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm just going to read the stuff that like I just jotted down throughout the things because I thought it was pretty boring. The mercy of Jesus is soothing. We listen to people, or we can listen to people, or we can believe the truth. God made a promise not to forget us. We can stay shallow or go deep. Step into, I don't know that word. Okay, this night is up. Well, this night I wrote a lot of stuff down, but I'm not going to do that to y'all. I'm not going to read all of that. It was just a really moving night about the youth. Our spiritual lameness keeps us from pursuing God. I mean, Jesus. God and Jesus. I'm not reading all that. Jesus has authority to bring hope to the tormented. We all struggle with demons in our life. The demon of fear is the first demon to come into our life. The steps of fear are unrest, uncertainty, and unbelief. We fight against the inner demon of addiction. And the steps of addiction is dependence, darkness, and depression. And we also struggle with the demon of bitterness, and the steps of that is resentment, rage, and repression. It's like that.
And bitter not, but bitterness does not ease the pain; it adds pain. And pain is going to find its way out of you. I wrote down some verses. If you struggle with bitterness, God has forgiveness, and Jesus can remove your pain, and God can make you new.
All right, Autumn. Your turn. Autumn. 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 Y'all, this has been my ultimate homegirl all week. This is the ultimate homegirl. Now, her face is bloodshot red because I called her name up here. Now, just imagine when I embarrass her in front of like 150 kids. It is priceless. But, here you go.
Okay, so since we're all telling stories, I'm going to tell one. Oh, it is. So, okay, so I actually have two. So just sit in your seat. So we went to go and get out the water. It was me, Brother Bean, and Kaylee to go to the boat. And Mackenzie's sitting on the dock. And this goes with that little Billy thing. And his name Billy? Bobby. Okay, she goes, I told y'all Bobby was in the water, thinking that we was getting out because of Bobby. So then we go get in the canoe, okay? Kaylee gets in, and all we hear was a toot. And Kaylee goes, I saw a bug. But anyways, okay, so forgiveness. We learned about forgiveness like one night, and for me that's a very big thing that I will not forgive but before that, like if somebody does something I won't forgive them, but now after that lesson it's very easy for me to forgive somebody. And yeah, SuperWOW was really great, and thank you for Miss Farron, Mel Mel. And after every single worship, we had this thing called Family Group, and it's where we would sit down and talk about like the worship and stuff, and like everybody was falling asleep, but we still listened. And after the worship, we would go there and talk more about what we learned at worship, so we'd get more into it. And yeah. And I will embarrass you.
No, you won't. I'm going to save the best one for last. Yeah. I guess y'all know who that is. So come on. That's Sierra. SDs. Oh, my bad. We had. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, CC. Here you go, homie.
I don't have any. Oh my gosh, I'm loud.
Maybe you don't need that.
Yeah, you don't need that. You're good. You don't have to use it.
Okay.
Okay, just give it all.
Someone hold this. Yeah, thank you. There you go. I'm just a loud person. I don't have any funny stories, but I learned a lot about fear because if you know me, I'm a very fearful person. And what I learned was fear paralyzes us. And another thing I learned was that we all have inner demons, and one of them is fear. And I didn't know fear was an inner demon until then. And another thing was when you struggle with fear, Jesus has love, and those just really hit me because of fear. And yeah. I think that's it.
Come on, Mel, come on down.
I don't need that thing either. I don't want that thing.
I don't need it either. I just like using this. Kind of cool.
No, not with this. Oh, it's okay. I don't need it. Well, Friday night was the most amazing thing, the most amazing experience I would say. I mean, the whole week was great, but Friday night, you had to have been in the atmosphere. Like we said, there was not a dry eye when we went in that service. I'm sorry, my voice, I'm lost because of these kids. But I actually, Friday night, I rededicated my life because I sit in the service and listen to him every Sunday. And you talk about how you're not supposed to play church and you're not supposed to essentially, to me, slap God in the face in that way. And I've been doing that for a long time. And it took me going and actually feeling God move and seeing these kids get something out of the week, worshiping the way they did. I mean, everything, expressing their feelings the way they did. And it makes you sit back and wonder, what have I been doing wrong? They're teaching me more than I'm teaching them. And they sit here to thank y'all, I love y'all, and they didn't realize what they did for me. And I had to stop putting myself first because I've done that and I've been doing that. I become in that routine of going to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, and it become a routine. And I found out Friday that I'm not going to play church anymore.
Amen.
I'm not going to do it. Because I'm not going to teach these kids that it's okay to play church and play with God. Because I've been doing it. And it's not okay. And it took me going and watching these kids and letting these kids teach me for me to realize that I was doing wrong. And Friday was just, I'll never forget it. I will not ever forget it. Because I truly, I know I was saved. I know. But I remember, there's something I'll never forget.
Let me ask you a question. You said that. What you're telling me, you ready to be the church, not a church.
Amen.
What you telling me?
Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard.
I've got to be what these kids need. And if I'm not what they need, then I'm not doing my job right.
Amen.
That's all.
Perry, you want to go? Do you need this, or you want to do it for the? You want to do it for the YouTube? Oh yeah, tell that story.
Okay, so if you ever hear somebody call me Miss Lisa, my name is not Lisa. My name is Farrah. Anyway, so Friday night at family groups, RJ and another girl from his church came and they didn't want to be with their church, so they came and hung out with our church for family groups, which we had no problem with. They even shared something that they got out of the night, so that was kind of cool, getting another church's perspective or another person from another church perspective. Anyway, so he was talking about all of the leaders and like saying that love your personality, and he was like, yeah, and you Miss Lisa, and I'm like, my name's Farrah, not Lisa. Where did you get Lisa from? But so if there's a running joke, just don't encourage it. Don't encourage it. Anyway, so So anyway, this week. What? Oh yeah, I introduced myself like to some of the other adults in our adult leader meeting. One morning I was like, "Hi, my name is Farrah, like Farrah Fawcett, because my name is not Sarah. It is not Tara. It is not Kara. It's Farrah." So just remember Farrah Fawcett. Just remember her. Anyway, so for a serious moment, this week has been absolutely amazing. This is my third time going to SuperWOW. I went. Yeah, I went the very first year when we went to Jekyll, and then the next one at Fort Walton. I skipped last year, and then this year at Toccoa. This was my first year as a leader, and completely different experience, but still the same God, still the same worship, still the same lessons, same testimony, stuff like that. It's been absolutely amazing. And one of the biggest things that I saw that stuck out in my head at a worship time is just like y'all saw this morning. There at the worship time, you had the kids that come up at the stage and everything, and they're worshiping, but a lot of them, like you had like, okay, here's the center of the stage. Our group was on this side. Like if you're looking at the stage, our group was on this side, and the other groups were on this side. From about that way down, it was worship. It was powerful. But if you just take a glimpse down here, it's just people just standing there. And that reminded me of a lot what happens when we come home, honestly. It's like we told them, it's like, you guys, don't be afraid to worship. And every night, it did not fail. After that first night, they were down there. They were praying for one another. Other people from other churches started coming and praying for the people at the altar. And it was powerful. And one big thing that kind of touched me was the fact that we had 4 cousins on this trip. And hashtag real talk, before this trip, these cousins did not get along very well. But during this trip, it was absolutely like the power of God, because they were praying for each other. They were hugging each other. They were loving on each other because, exactly. Yes, Friday night was probably the best night of the whole week, just because of the power of God that was there that night. And some of the stuff that we went over the whole week was, like some of the kids to say, forgiveness, and how fear paralyzes you. And one thing that we wanted going into this Monday night, we got through with all of our games and everything. We were discussing stuff before we went to bed Monday night. And we discussed, y'all, don't let fear hinder you this week. And I'm a singer, so I use a lot of song analogies. So I used a new song called the Breakup Song as an analogy. And I was like, you guys, break up with your fear this week. We had someone two people break up with their fear of swimming, of water, period. We had people break up with their fear of forgiving people. And a lot of times forgiveness, what I've told a lot of them this week, forgiveness is for yourself a lot of times. Because if you don't forgive somebody, you're not really hurting that person. You're hurting yourself, because you're holding that grudge inside of you, and that's all you think about whenever you see that person. So you're just going to be bitter, and you're going to just throw yourself a little pity party every time you're around this person. And it's time for all of us, including myself in a lot of ways, it's like that's what forgiveness is for. It's for the person forgiving. Because Jesus forgave us, so in turn that's what we're supposed to do. And we've just been all telling him that this week, and letting me know that, Mackenzie's been talking with me and Mama about stuff going on, and other girls have been talking about stuff going on, and we've just been letting them know that no matter what you are going through, Jesus loves you. No matter what it is. And we told them, no, it's not okay to keep doing wrong things. But once you become a Christian, it doesn't mean you're not going to struggle. We all struggle. Even as Christians, we struggle. And we have to ask for forgiveness on a daily. Because it never said that the cross that you pick up and carry was not going to be heavy, but it also said that there would be help on the way. Help would always be there. And so that's what we were just trying to get in their heads this week. It's like, it doesn't matter what you're going through. God is always there to forgive you. You just have to be willing to ask. You have to make the first move. You have to ask for that forgiveness. Okay, I lost some people. Hi. So you just have to be willing to ask for that forgiveness for yourself. And it doesn't matter, like I said, we can't keep doing the things we are doing, especially when we know that what we are doing is wrong. But just because we're doing something wrong doesn't mean that we're any less of a Christian. We just have to make the decision to ask for the forgiveness. Because if we don't ask for forgiveness, though, and we continue doing the wrong things, that's when I question your salvation. Honestly. Hashtag real talk. Doing the wrong thing all the time, even claiming to be a Christian, but continue sinning, that's a dangerous game to play. And that's what we've been telling them this week. It's like, you guys know, as a Christian, you're not ever going to not sin. You're going to struggle. And know, as a Christian, every time you make a mistake, no, you don't have to get re-saved. But you have to ask for forgiveness, and you have to repent. And with repentance becomes releasing that bondage that held you down and leaving it at the altar. And that's what we've been going through this week. That's what all the years have been for, releasing things. I've released some things on the altar this week of just bondages that I've been dealing with, of fear of not knowing what tomorrow holds. And I mean, that's something I've been dealing with for a while. And it's just like, one of the things that they said is like, no, you may not know what tomorrow holds, but you know who holds tomorrow. And so one of the things that it was either Brock Gill or Patrick said, it's like, when your problems come to you and saying how big they are, turn around and tell them how big your God is. So, I mean, you guys, all my youth here tonight, I really hope y'all have gotten something out of this week, and I really hope it sticks. I mean, this morning, I was so proud of y'all this morning, not letting the fact that you come back to a church that may not worship the way you do, may not worship the way everybody did at SuperWOW, and that's okay, because everybody worships in a different way. But coming back to a church that doesn't look exactly the way SuperWOW did, even though that's where your fire started, bring the fire here and we can make an explosion. Exactly. So the ball is in y'all's court. It's in all of ours court. We have a lot of plans ready for the youth after going from now on. We have a lot of plans for the youth to set up the youth room, to do our own little worship time downstairs and stuff like that, trying to get us built up and basically have a mini SuperWOW every time we're down there. So I pray you guys, y'all look up here for a second, don't lose that fire. I've been in your shoes. I've been in your shoes not too long ago. I know what it's like to come back on fire and you feel like it's sucked out of you the minute you get home. Don't let that happen. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible feeling. Don't let it happen. Y'all, we talked about it during family groups one night, holding each other accountable, being honest with each other. And that's what we have to do. We're called to be fruit inspectors, and I have to inspect your fruit, and you have to inspect mine, and we have to hold each other accountable. If you're doing something wrong, it's my job to tell you, not be rude about it. There's one thing that's like, oh, you ugly, man. There's another thing, hey, I'm kidding. Hey, maybe not be doing this right in a way. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. The Bible says we're supposed to do this, not this. And I'm going to him as a sister in Christ, saying, hey, the Bible says we're not supposed to do this. Let me pray for you. Let me pray with you, and we'll fix it together. And the same for him to me, and the same from me to them, and them to me as well. We're all called to inspect each other's fruit, called to hold each other accountable. Because, we told him this week, this world is not an easy world to live in. So that's why we're all together, to build each other up. Because I know if I said it once, I said it a bunch this week. It's like, it's real easy if you hang around with the wrong people. They're like, because some people are saying, oh, well, my friend may be this way. Is it still okay for me to be friends with him? And it's like, yeah, don't turn your back on your friends. Don't be rude to your friends just because they may believe differently than you. Worship to them. But remember, it is always easy to get tore down than it is to build somebody up. So that's why we are here as a youth. We are here as your youth leaders. You have other leaders within the church here to help you, to help build you up, because you never want to try and fix the problem on your own, because you will fail every time. And if you ever try and fix a problem without God first, it ain't gonna work. So that's my little sermon for the night. So anyway, Mr. Lip Sing Battle King himself, Mr. Bill.
I got volunteered to do that by Jacob. By the way, he was too scared to do that. That's why. Yeah, don't lie. Don't lie. You're in church.
Bill knew more older songs than I did.
Yo, I actually got told that. The kids were like, well, you did a bunch of old songs and they did new songs. I'm like, well, I'm like twice y'all's age.
The songs Bill did were offered up by Cordell to me, and I was like, dude, I'll be honest, I don't know the words of those songs. I got one night to remember them. That's not going to happen. I'm not getting into bed at 3 o'clock in the morning just to do a lip sync battle at 7. So I told Bill, I was like, hey, you got it, dude. I know you got it.
All right, y'all. The biggest thing that each one of these kids have overcome this week, and I've heard each one of them pretty much hint on it, is fear. And that's the biggest thing, guys. When they're young like this, they're scared. They don't know what's right. They don't know what's wrong. They don't know, am I going to get approval from this person? Am I going to get disapproval from this person? Or what's going to happen if I do this? What's the consequence going to be? Fear is in your imagination. It is nothing but a thought. And you are not your thoughts, and your thoughts are not you. That is a simple truth. But if you break down fear, it is false evidence appearing real. That's exactly what it is. It's nothing but your mind playing tricks on you to keep you from doing something. And that's Satan. And just right there. So that was the biggest thing, is these kids overcoming their fear this week. And I believe they really did. The first step to healing that, though, is learning to walk in righteousness. And righteousness does not equal good deeds. They hinted on that this week. You can do every good deed in the book. You're still not going to get there. It just doesn't work that way. Well, come on, baby girl. Righteousness equals embracing God's desires. And what that means is you're actually willing to submit yourself to God and what He has in plan for you. And His desires become greater than yours. That's walking in righteousness. When you put God's plans above yours. The biggest thing I took from this week was one sentence that somebody once told me. I've had a big problem with holding grudges and thinking there are people who don't deserve to be saved. Honestly, I mean, you're that bad of a person. But the truth is, guys, there's no one, absolutely no one in your life who does not deserve Christ. Absolutely, even your enemies deserve Christ. We learned about a student-led ministry, and one of the guys said that his son was the leader of it. And the last day, he brought like 4 dozen donuts. And there was like 3 people in the room. So he sent his sons out. He's like, go find anybody. I don't care. Tell them come get donuts. And this kid had been bullied all year by this certain kid because of what he believed. Because he was a Christian and because he held himself differently than everybody else. He was bullied because of it. And he went and got that kid and his kid's twin brother. And he said, hey, we're having a meeting. It's free food. Why don't you come? Kid heard free food. Was like, hey, cool, let's go. He came, the kids shared the gospel with them, and that's what this ministry is about. It's a student-led ministry that students on campus teach other students. There's no adults present. There's no adult accountability at all, so it's perfectly legal. And this kid sat there and shared the gospel with his enemy. And at the end of that, his enemy walked up to him and said, "Please forgive me. I've been fighting my own self, and I'm sorry I took it out on you." So it just goes to say there's no one in your life, even the one person attacking you the whole time, that does not deserve to know who Jesus Christ is. So please do not pass up the opportunity, y'all, kids. Please do not pass up the opportunity to spread this gospel. You have the tools. You have the knowledge. And I know each one of you have the boldness. I've seen it. Okay?
Write a title on that page. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, there was one night where the speaker Patrick was talking about being a Christian in all being a Christian, and he was going over Matthew 4:18 through 20. But what I think that his whole message hit on, which I guarantee you kids feel like, I even know some adults feel like, that being a Christian is boring. But, as I've heard Papa say, as I've heard Brother Charles say, I mean, we can have parties. You don't have to have alcohol. You don't have to have drugs. All you got to have is a couple people there willing to have a good time to have a party. So, we can have a godly party. I mean, where two or more gather, it is church. So, I mean, we can have a party right now if we want to. So, never, and this is to the youth and any adult that feels this way, never think being a Christian is boring. Because if they tell you it is, tell them to come join you in youth group. Adults, if you feel like it is, come join us in youth group, and we'll show y'all how to have a party. I'm going to be honest with you. All week long, we have had a party. Y'all saw the good times, but that wasn't the party. The party was at family groups, when we had individual family groups. And that is whenever Mel would take her room, and Farrah would take her room, Bill would take his room, plus one of the girls, because me and Bill are lucky we don't have many. That sounds good, don't it? I'm just kidding. Guys, I am just kidding. But so me and Bill, we also had one of the ladies with us, and which is a blessing because you see it from a different point of view, not just from a guy's point of view. So we would do those family groups, and I know they hit on it plenty of times. All of them did, forgiveness. And like I told all the youth know this story. When this was my third year at SuperWOW, by the way, and 2 years ago was my first year, and by the grace of God, I was able to go. It was one afternoon. DJ was at my house with Asher, and he was like, "Hey, we're going to SuperWOW in a couple weeks." And I was like, "Oh, hold up. All right, y'all have any openings? Can I go?" And he was like, "I don't know. I know we're pretty full." And then I was like, "All right, well, I'll talk to Miss Laura, and we'll figure this thing out." I mean, and she told me they were full, and so I was like, "All right, well, what if I pay my way?" And it was too late for me to pay, and so I was like, "All right. Well, I guess it's just not meant for me to go." And then I get a call literally 2 days before they left for SuperWOW saying, "Hey, we have a spot. Do you still want to go?" So I was like, "All right." And I packed my bags, hurried up and got on the bus, and we headed to Fort Walton, and I had a really good time. But that was one of them things. I was like, "All right, y'all are going to the beach. I'm down to go to the beach. And then we're going to have church on the side." And it wasn't that. It really wasn't. It came down to a Thursday night. Ed Newton was our speaker. And it was the three adults, or the older guys, which I wasn't really an adult at this time. I just graduated high school. It was me, DJ, and Dwayne, and we were the adult leaders. And I threw the suggestion up that the women have a devotion for just the girls, and the guys will take the guys on the balcony, and we'll do a devotion on the balcony, kind of split it up like that. And so we did that, and we would do that all week long. And it came down Thursday night, and I felt like Ed Newton was speaking to me personally. just like staring right at me, just speaking to me. And he was hitting on forgiveness and not holding grudges. And that kind of hit me hard because since I was young, I battled with forgiving my biological father, which walked out on me when I was 5 years old. And I battled with that for the longest time. And I held the biggest grudge on that for the longest time. And it came down to it. That night, it was, I mean, as soon as we got out of the service, I'm sitting in the service the whole time, just boo-hooing my eyes out. Just boo-hoo-hooing. And it came down to it. And we get out of service, and DJ and Dwayne are like, hey, we still doing devotions tonight? And me being a human, me being in the middle, in front, me trying to step in front of God's work, said no. I was like, no, you guys have it. I'm not going to do it tonight. Y'all can take care of it. And so we get back to the condo, and I'm sitting there, and next thing I know, I'm just sitting on the bed, just boo-hooing my eyes out again. And I was like, all right, I can't do this anymore. I walk out the room, I grab all the guys, I'm like, all right, let's go. We're going outside. We go outside and sit on the balcony for 45 minutes, straight silence. Nobody says a thing, but everybody is crying. There wasn't no word said. And then we finally started speaking up, and that was the night, and it was Thursday night at 10:02. I mean, I could tell you specific time. And I mean, that was the night I forgave my father, which really, when they were touching on forgiveness today, last week, that really hit me again, because I know every single one of our kids struggle with forgiveness. And I know every single one of our kids struggle with doubt and fear. But honestly, after Friday night, I think everybody left everything at the altar and did not bring anything back with them. Because that night when we got on the stairs, I mean, my heart was so happy. So happy. And I think that was the night everybody realized, all right, well, this being a Christian thing might be cool after all. I mean, I get to come to a service like this, get pumped up, get my heart happy, get to come back out here, have a conversation with people I actually like. Some of y'all anyway. But that I actually like, I get to come and talk to y'all about my problems and not have to worry about y'all running around to every little body and telling them, hey, you know, so-and-so. I mean, you know, Brandon out here picking his nose. I mean, and you know, Autumn out here having a bad hair day. But no, we don't have to do that. I mean, within our group, they all know they could talk to each other. And they know nobody in this group, in this church, the people that are in it right now, people that are in it on Sunday mornings, Wednesday nights, they know they don't have to hide anything from you guys. I mean, and it's by the will of God, because without Him, these guys wouldn't feel that way. These guys wouldn't understand, hey, who cares? Just like, they're like, Mr. Jacob, you don't get embarrassed? No, I don't get embarrassed. You will not be able to embarrass me. Because what am I here to be embarrassed about? I live for God and only for God. So it all comes down to letting that doubt and fear disappear. I like the way that rhymed. Let the doubt and fear disappear. There's no need for it. There's no room for it. And just like I told these guys that God doesn't want your 50%. And I made this analogy all week, and Butterbean, he spoke on it earlier. He said, yeah, God wants your 125%. But it's so true. He wants the 125%. He wants your all in all, not just a little bit. And that's actually a song reference. I'm not a singer by no means. You can ask every single one of them, but I love my song references. See, they can vouch for that. I sound like a dying duck, according to Mackenzie. She told me that Friday night. I was like, look, I am hoarse. I can barely talk. You cannot call me a dying duck right now. Now, maybe whenever my voice fills up a little bit and I start singing, you can then. But there's one more thing. And it says the net of doubt. It says we don't, and where I get the net of doubt from, he was saying, if we were back in the times whenever Jesus went to Peter on the boat and told Peter to throw his net out, he said if Peter would have had any doubt they probably wouldn't have caught any fish. But he said since Peter trusted in God wholeheartedly, he threw the net out. What? They're sitting there fighting to get that net up. They're getting that net up, full of fish. And then it says, and if we don't believe in God, when we have doubts, then that doubt will be forever. Because, I mean, it will until you start trusting and having full faith in God, and that doubt will disappear. Then it says, it's talking about self-reliance because we don't believe in the power of Jesus. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that, with self-reliance, feeling like, hey, I got to fix this. Hey, I got to fix that. Why can't we just say, hey, God, can you fix this? God, will you fix that? All you have to do is ask, and ye shall receive. And it says, never feel like you have to prove yourself to God. He knows you and He loves you. For fear is a liar. And that's where it all boils down to, guys. Fear is a liar. It will always be a liar, forever and a day. There's no place for fear in your heart. There's no room for it, especially if you got God. But, guys, that is our SuperWOW crew. Y'all saw what we did. Leaders, Mel, I appreciate you. Farrah, I appreciate you. Bill, I appreciate you. I love you guys.
Okay, I need to thank one more person. Butterbean, thank you for helping me and Sierra.
And guys, I'm just going to let y'all know, these guys right here, like Farrah said, every worship service, they were down on the altar. If one of them wasn't having something to pray for, if somebody else was on the altar, it was like a swarm of gnats. Whew. They were all at once on that one person, which is great. Not only does it mean that God has touched them, they're learning that from somebody. Whether it's here at the church, whether it's from us four, I don't know. They're paying attention though. So, parents, I appreciate y'all, every single one of y'all, for leading these kids down the right path. They look up to y'all just as much, if not more, they look up to us. They pay attention. They really do. Sometimes all we got to do is sit back and say, what's the problem? How can I help you? Talk to me. Because I'll tell you, we've had to say that, I don't know, numerous of times. But guess what? Once you ask and you just sit back, I don't care if you're sitting in a 5-10 minutes of silence. Let them build up what they got to say. All it takes is a little bit of courage. And sit back and listen. That's all we got to do. Because once you do that, it's overflow. And it's great. It really is. These kids got some of the best things to tell you. Shoot, like Memo said, they teach us sometimes more than we teach them. I've even heard Mr. Vince say that. But it's the truth. It is the truth. So guys, I appreciate every single one of y'all. So I really do. I love you guys. Even the leaders, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. I don't know what I would do without y'all.
Folks, I'm gonna say this real quick. Brother Raymond's got something he wants to say. This boy's dad decides to move him to Vegas. And they packed up and they took off to Vegas. I told their father, son, if you carry him out there and mistreat him, They in a tumbleweed that's going to keep you hidden. I will come look for you. He's right. At 5 years old, I get a phone call. It's Jacob on the other line. He said, Papa. I said, what's up, buddy? Now, y'all remember now, I raised 3 girls. Guess what my first 2 grandchildren were? Girls. I thought, Lord, are you blessing me? Or the other? And then Tasha got pregnant, and we found out my first boy was coming. After Jacob, his twin brothers were born. After they were born, there was a long period of time. No more kids was coming into the family, but then Kaiden was born. I'm thinking, hot diggity dog, boys are taking over. And then the last one to be born was Kendra. Now we're going to start on the great ones. All of my grandkids are great, okay? But now I got Asher. Boys are ganging. And Tasha and Taylor's pregnant with her second one, and guess what it is? Another boy. So I'm a blessed man, Brother Raymond. Jacob called me up and he said, Papa, can you do me a favor? And I said, I'm doing through the world with you guys. What's up? He said, I'm hungry. Y'all, my temperature went about 40 shades above what's normal. And Trisha could tell I was mad and away at him because my face was red all the way down to my neck. I said, put your mother on the phone. And I heard Jacob say, Papa wants to talk to you. And on the other end, I could hear Tasha go, oh, no. Tasha took the phone. I said, my grandson just called me and said he's hungry. You got about 2 seconds to tell me what's going on or I'm coming to Vegas. She said, Daddy, if you'll just send me enough money to feed them and get me bus tickets, I'll be back in Macon before Friday. I said, you get to the First Western Union and the money will be waiting on you. Now they stayed with us. Brother Keith, we can say this as grandfathers. Brother Farron, we can say this as grandfathers. Brother Charles, we can say this as grandfathers. They're going to mimic what they see, regardless if it's their daddy or their grandfather. And I'm not bragging by no means, so nobody take this out of this church that Pastor's bragging tonight. I'm proud of my grandchildren because I see God working in this one's life just like I see him working in Kobe's life. Now we're praying for Caleb. There's some areas. There's a fine line right there. Me and Jacob both agree, and we're praying for Caleb. But all my grandchildren know where they come when something's going on in their life, and they're looking for that umbrella. That's a good one, Brother Charles. I'm a grandfather umbrella. So you guys over here that went off last week and you paid attention to what you saw, you guys pay attention to what you see. Because, see, you're going to be the future church. You're going to be standing up here singing Old Church Choir. Or you're going to be standing up here preaching. Because I won't be around very long. You'll have to take my place. Now, as far as pastor of this church, I support anything and everything that has to do with educating you guys in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But let me tell you what I'm starting to see at New Elim Baptist Church. I got a Sunday school teacher that loves you guys to death. Loves you beyond anything. What impresses me is you're willing to give up your cell phones for 1 hour. That is impressive. Ooh, that is so impressive to me. Okay? And then I asked this one and this one and this one to take the youth downstairs at 5:30 and start a power hour. What happens on Sunday evenings? We don't have the first youth in our service. You know why? They're downstairs in their area with the power hour. Why is that so important? So you can learn how to worship. So you can bring it up here and worship. So I encourage, and again, folks, like I told you this morning, I've made up my mind. There's going to be some changes. And I done learned to say no on some stuff. And if it's not biblical, no.
How can I follow that? What about? "15 years ago, you sent me to a youth leadership conference. Miss Jeannie Mayo, one thing that stuck in my mind even today. Our youth, we're not to talk at them, above them. Talk to them. Let them talk to you. Here's the result. Bill, Jacob, Ryan, Taylor, they were my, Farrah, Mel was my original group. And awesome group. But you know, there was a lesson that started about 15 years ago. We are ending it today. We are ending it today. Because this morning was awesome. Last Sunday it was awesome. Greeting everybody coming from church. But you know what I'm talking about. Ready, prepared. Today, or back then, when you're ready, you got your Bible in your hand. Amen. Come on, guys. But you're not prepared to use it until you open it. So I'm ending that. Prepared, you're ready, you got it in your hand. You're not prepared till you open the Bible and use it. Testify. Mel, you said they're teaching you. Y'all taught me. Brother Vince, do they teach you too? That's our future, Johnny. I will always say it till God calls me home. And y'all probably get tired of me saying it. Stay prepared.
All right. All right. Sure.
Quickly, everybody.
How old it has to be for a young man, not even, how old are you?
14.
14?
He's 13 still.
Yeah.